Good morning. So I want to introduce supply to you today, but I want to make sure that you've completed the check for understanding on the calendar with an 8 out of 9 or better. And if you have not, please pause this video and go back and do it again. All right, so we talked about demand, and you know that demand is from your perspective, from the consumer's perspective. And one of the things that makes supply so tricky is that it is from the producer's perspective. And because of that, you're not used to looking at it that way. So sometimes it seems a little nonsensical. All right. So let's remember that supply is from the producer's perspective, and they want to make as much money as possible. Remember, one of the keys to a free enterprise system is open opportunity, but also profit motive. And they want to make as much money as possible. So they clearly want to sell more at a higher price than they do at a lower price. And that's called the law of supply. So the higher the price, the higher the quantity supplied. All right, so if we were to look at these arrows, you know that price always comes first. So I want you to try to fill in these arrows with what you think goes in there after you pause the video. And then once you've filled them in, go back to the video. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully you put the higher the price, the higher the quantity supplied, and the lower the price, the lower the quantity supplied, because remember, price always comes first. So if you own a business, you clearly would like to sell whatever it is you sell. Let's say you sell blankets. You'd rather sell more blankets at $50 than you would at $10. Now, the problem is you can't always sell it at that higher price, but we'll talk about that later. All right. So if prices rise, then firms will produce more because they want to make a larger profit. This is what I was just saying. So if the price of something is going to go up, then the producers are going to make more of it because they know that they can sell it at a higher price. So when something becomes very popular, like take a gaming system. When it first comes out, it's very, very popular, so they can sell it at a much higher price. So they're going to offer a lot more to sell at that higher price than they are later on at a lower price. Now, if they know that the price of a good is falling, there's two things that could happen. One is some firms will produce less, but others might drop out of the market. They might stop making whatever it is that they're making because they can't make any money on it at the price it's currently selling. And like I said, sometimes it's difficult to understand this because supply is from the producer's perspective and you're not used to looking at it from that perspective. All right, so let's look at our supply schedule and our supply curve. So you'll notice price goes up $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, and then supply goes up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So as price goes up, supply goes up. So why don't you go ahead and label your axes. There's the price axes. I got those lined up as much as I could, sorry. And then there are your supply quantity, your quantity supplied, sorry. And remember, you can pause this video at any point in time if you're having trouble keeping up with me. All right, so let's plot this. So we have 10 supplied at $1. We have 20 supplied at $2. We have 30 supplied at $3. We have 40 supplied at $4, and we have 50 supplied at $5. So we put our line through it, we label it with an S, and there's our supply curve. And remember, that supply curves go in a different direction because it has that one-to-one relationship. So as price goes up, supply goes up. It's got a direct relationship versus demand that has a inverse relationship. Now, let's look at it if price were to fall. So price falls $5, $4, $3, $2, $1, and supply is falling too, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. So let's look at what that supply curve looks like. Again, let's label our price axes and our supply axes. Remember, please pause the video if you're having trouble keeping up. You can also rewind it if you're having problems. Now, this supply curve is going to look the same even though supply is decreasing because of the fact that the supply curve always goes in an upward trajectory. So it's kind of like Superman taking off. All right. So now I want to go to review something that we learned with our demand curves, but let's apply it to our supply curve. So if you were to look at this and you saw supply 1, all right, so at $1, you have 10 supplied. At $2, you have 20 supplied, and so forth. And then you have supply 2 to the right of that. So at $1, you have 20 supplied. At $2, you have 40 supplied, and so on. We have supply 1 and supply 2. Now, that, as you know, is a shift to the right. So why don't you take a second and think about, is that going to be an increase or a decrease in supply based on what you know? Hopefully you said that that is an increase in supply, because at $1, even though my spots are a little bit off, at $1 on S1, they were willing to supply 10, but supply increased when they were willing to supply 20 at that dollar. Okay. All right. So let's look at it the opposite direction. If you have the purple dots being supply 1 and the yellow dots being supply 2, which direction does that shift to? Hopefully you said that's a shift to the left. Now, is that an increase or a decrease in supply? Hopefully you said it's a decrease in supply, because the purple dot, again, it's a little bit off, but at the purple dot, it's 20 being supplied at $1. And at the yellow dot, it's at 10 being supplied. So it'll go from 20 to 10. That's a shift to the left. And it is also a decrease in supply. All right, please go back and review anything in this video that you are having trouble with, anything you didn't understand. Ask one of your neighbors. Hopefully I'll be back tomorrow and I'll be able to clear up any misconceptions that we have. Now, here's what I need you to do. I need you to go do the bell ringers, which I realize we're not doing in the right order today, but I'd like you to do the bell ringers for 3-7, and then I'd like you to play the supply Quizlet game, and then get ready for Mr. Black to run the Kahoot game. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me at school, rmorat@me.steer.org, and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, talk to you soon.